Hey guys, Bolt here, and we're here for a tier list on. Oh, hold on. We're here for a tier list on Gotham Knights stories. So basically, I was thinking about this. This is a shower thought. I got this through, thinking. So I got I got Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, Tim Drake's Robin, Bruce Wayne. So basically, the grieving story, grieving story, grieving story, grieving story. Him as a character. Alfred basically is in a grieving situation. Slash character. The little boss fight slash side story for him. Mr. Freeze, the side story, story of having, so basically Mr. Freeze, Man-Bat, Harley Quinn, Clayface, the League of Shadows, Resurrected Bruce, I forgot what they're called. The Court of Owls. Penguin and Gordon. So, let's get started. We got S to F. There are some F's in here. I will say that now. So starting with our main characters, I'm gonna say that Tim Drake and Jason Todd are S ones, because these characters have some of the best parts of this thing. These two are kind of background characters versus these two. Tim Drake being a new Robin, still getting his bearings as a crime fighter, and he loses his trainer. So now he doesn't have someone to appoint him, so he has to have other people of his situation kind of help him out. He's also the one that took Bruce's death the worst. Of course, everyone had more connections with Bruce, but everyone kind of knew what he expected of them. Where Tim is a kid, he's still not... he sees Bruce as a father figure and teacher, so he doesn't want to lose him. So he's in complete denial. Jason Todd is more of now he gets to try death for once. But he's also he was a protector. He did do something for the city of Gotham and the world. And I think the biggest part why I put Jason in here is the whole Lazarus Pit connection with him. He constantly, it's a background conversation, but it's an amazing conversation. The effects and his mentality after getting put in the Lazarus Pit. He's scared of what he can do. There's the mystical powers that keep coming up, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. So these two as characters are amazing. Dick Grayson, he doesn't get much. I think he tries to get the leader role, but the issue is that you have to beat the game with a Bat family member, and that Bat family member seemed to be appointed as the leader of the team at the end. Technically, they're supposed to be the Gotham Knights, not just the Gotham Knight with, backgrounds. So it's just, he gets drowned out. He doesn't get a lot. It's kind of if you know the material, you would understand where, him pulling muscles, him being in a relationship with Babs. So I'm going to put him as a B because it's a silent storytelling. There's not a very big part of... You know what? C average. Babs. I will give her... her as a character can be flawed versus other characters. Like, this is supposed to be your spunky. He gives out know-it-alls. Well, no, he gives out know-it-all, but he gets very techie and kind of doesn't understand cues. He's very brute forceful and is at it, and he doesn't care if it's okay or not for a situation, and he's kind of like the having fun person. So it's like their personalities are all right, but Babs here, I don't think I have a good character for her. Like, her characteristics aren't transferred to her in this story well. But the only thing I'll give her a B for is that she has the whole grieving over Gordon as well. Like, she's trying to make a little scene of puppets to kind of do a little thing about her dad. Which, speaking of which, I'm going to give Gordon a D. I hate this. They make it such... When they, like, trailered this game and made it sound so cool, it's just the fact that Gordon died. I didn't find anything, and it's not a very given tell of how he died and what happened to the buildup of it. Maybe the book went over it. There was a book about Batman's last case before Gotham Knights. But it's just, in this game, I don't know it. Like, there's no way you know. The only thing I give it D instead of an F for is that the aftermath of the GCPD holding the Gotham Knights responsible. So the Bat families... they point fingers at the Bat family for not being able to save Gordon. I will be doing like a reimagining of these after I'm done. But anyways, let's go with Bruce. Bruce, I believe, is probably an A. He has had... Why they kill him off here is, I believe... It's very telling that he had his development, his character arc finished, where he was in a dark place, and by the end of it, he's able to lean on others, he's able to be a part of a family again, but he dies now that he's accepting of that, and now he can actually be seen as not just the Dark Knight, but like a light of in the dark kind of character. And it's sad that we didn't get too much of him in the game, but yet just how he is versus he's no longer just the Batman. He's also a father and teacher, and it gives that out. Like, he's no longer just try again. You're horrible. Like, he's not just some stiff person because he wants to be made out of stone. He's actually like, I have a connection with these people. I can be jokingly with them and all that. So, we do get to see some of the Batman stuff in the training. Like, you better do this to, get better. But Mr. Bruce Wayne, I'd say, was an A in that game. Alfred, we don't get to see much of Alfred, but, Alfred as a character is an S. Yeah, you know what, yeah. You can't do much with Alfred, but, like, even though he's in grieving, he takes care of the others because they've lost their father figure and all that. So he tries to step in and do the best he can. So just showing Alfred as a caretaker is probably one of the better things. Penguin is an F. Like, they only bring him in to be the tattletale on how you get to the Court of Owls. There isn't much you do with him. Man-Bat. It's not even the original, like, it's it's got the name of the doctor who became Man Bat, but this isn't even close to any of the stories. I think he was developing the Man Bat thing, but the League of Shadows or Court of Owls use him. And then there's multiple Man Bats. It loses luster versus the Arkham series where he thought he could solve some issues with the Man Bat operation, but it ends up killing his wife and all that. We'll go back to that, but it's just the fact that he's so multiple. There's too many of the Man Bat. It looks like he's not even significant, and while he is the same character that we care about, he isn't. He doesn't have the same vein of importance in his own story. Court of Owls, being this in the shadows kind of thing. They pull every string. It's pretty amazing, and I like it. There's a few things, but I can't fault them for it because not everybody even knows. Like, the Court of Owls is pretty new, so a few facts about it would be fun to throw in there, but just as it is fine. Mr. Freeze. He's not even worried about Nora here. He just wants to freeze Gotham, which isn't even his normal intent. And I understand there's a few Mr. Freezes, like there is the Batman, like it was a cartoon where they only showed Dick Grayson and Babs as like the sidekick part, and you do see some of the Justice League, but in that he's a little he wants to freeze everyone and cause harm. In most stories, he's for his wife and trying to find a cure and trying to steal stuff. But in the end, all he wants to do in this game is freeze all of Gotham. Which, no. If it's for his wife, he can keep a room or a home frozen for his wife if it was on that. So just him being a dominating character, I don't like it. Harley Quinn. C. She's who she is. She's a chaotic, but all she does is an informant. She's an informant on the main storyline. She doesn't have anything to do with the Joker or even has anything else. Clayface. I'll give him an A. Because Clayface, he is the character of just an actor that's broken. But the thing that kind of stops it is like he obsesses over the final fight with him and Batman, and it gets annoying. Like he wouldn't be hung up on that, from what I think. He'd try to be making. I feel like he would take over Mr. Freeze's timeline, Mr. Freeze's thing over anything else. Like, being able to find a cure or trying to, for my issues with my life, I will cause other people's pain. That is what I would suggest Clayface, instead of just this person that's trying to be some theater kid and trying to figure out what happened at that final fight. Resurrected Bruce. F. His send-off, the entire grieving process, and you just bring him back to be a final boss and kill him off, making it even worse for the Gotham, the Bat family, and it feels like they almost had Bruce back again, but went right through their fingertips. All you used for this storyline is just to cause the Bat family pain. That's it. This is so useless. And I understand while Talia would bring him back just to be a general, this could have been so much more, and I'll go over it. In Talia, the League of Shadows. Well, the League of Shadows being against the Court of Owls is a nice little like war from the insides, and it's been a fight for years, and it's just been in the shadows. My issue is like Ra's al Ghul is like they don't even mention the full intent. She just burns her father, says that his mentality's gone and there's no need for him anymore. Even though in most stories she loves her father so much that she's willing to jump in front of she's willing to die for him. While she does love Bruce, she still has that strong of an attachment to her father. So it's like the fact that she just throws her father away, takes the title, and tries to make Bruce her thing. I'm going to have to give her a C. The League of Shadows war on the Court of Owls is the only thing good about that. So, going on to my thoughts on what could have fixed it. Tim Drake, amazing. You can't really do too much about that. Jason Todd, same thing. Alfred, amazing. Court of Owls. Here's what I wanted to do with them. I wanted you to, depending on who you play as, you can learn a few new facts about certain events throughout the thing. The Court of Owls, if you could have just said, hey, they caused a lot more bigger events than they wanted. They could have been like, for example, let's start with Nightwing. He is the descendant of a Guardian Talon. So the Grayson name is a very big, well, not a very big part. It is a part of the Talon Guards. So he's was meant to become a Talon eventually and take up the mantle of his great-great-grandfather. So it would have been nice to learn more about his heritage that would put him in the league, in the court. For Tim Drake, you could have said he could have been looking into the reason why they were trying to deal with the Waynes, like the criminal background we've been seeing a lot more recently, is that Thomas Wayne was dealing with some people. Martha was psychotic. He could have been looking into why the court had an interest in the Waynes. Jason Todd, it would have been a personal story where orphans and misfits of Gotham could have been easy Talon recruits. And being a misfit himself, he could have been recruited and he was probably an ideal recruit. But then Batman happened and they let it happen because it started affecting Batman, having to watch this angry teenager. And they were probably willing to do something about Jason's death. But they stopped it. They let it happen to kind of mess with the Batman, so it'd keep him away from a lot of the inner crime. Babs is the biggest one here. While like the background of the Waynes, his ancestry, and the idea that he could have been inducted into the court just because of his misfit behaviors, Babs is the biggest one. I believe that to make the collapse of GCPD and put everything in order, like they were playing chess with Gotham, and to make it even bigger, I believe you could have explained the death of Gordon by saying, hey, just simple criminals were able to kill him just because the court was able to position people throughout. Basically, they made more needed, more worse criminals were positioned against Gotham, so everyone split up to where they would have to deal with other villains. And Gordon was alone with just a few very well, armed people, and he died just because there was no other Bat family member to help him. and it was the Court of Owls positioning and planning. With his death, they were able to put the head's wife, Bruce's aunt, was able to become the new, not captain. She was the new commissioner, and that gave them more like in the ear power. So they had more control over how Gotham went now that they had rid of Gordon. So just, this is just add little personal stories to the Gotham Knights while you're playing the main story. Next, we could have gone to Bruce. Only thing I'd say that I wish was just more time. Is just, I wish there was more flashbacks with him, more personal, like, you do challenges and you'd get some, like, flashbacks of the favorite moments of that Gotham Knight with Bruce. You could have had, there in Young Justice, Batman plays basketball with Dick Grayson to be a father to a son. He could have been there for Babs when her mother passed. He could have been there with Jason when he was sick. There was in one of the comics recently, he showed his favorite moment of his life was when Batman stayed home from patrol to stay with a sick Jason, and then Tim Drake could just been him finally allowing him to be Robin. Like little moments like that, you could have had Gotham Knights take more time with Bruce, having a personal connection with that Gotham Knight. Clayface, like I said, get rid of him hunting down the whole like show boat with the final battle with a bat, and just have him as, my life is unfair. I used to be this amazing actor. My pain is unmeasurable. No one will understand what my life has turned to, so I'm going to destroy the city and cause other people pain. So take kind of like Mr. Freeze's story. That's all he needs to be, to kind of be a sympathetic villain. Harley Quinn, keep her chaotic thing, but the question I have is, like, why is she working with Batman? Where's the Joker? And that would have been probably an amazing ideal, is maybe the Joker was trying to mess with the court, and that's when Batman, like, got caught on that there's something happening, is that the Joker was caught in, and this Harley reminds me of the Harley that has kids with the Joker, and I imagine that for her working with the Batman, the information is so Batman can keep her kids safe. Because she gets pregnant with the Joker's kids in a lot of comic books. So I believe is the Joker is gone, taken by the court, and she has kids with the Joker, but to secure their safety, Batman puts into hiding for information. Because she's crazy, she can think like that, she's also amazingly smart, she can put all these little pieces together that a normal, sane person probably couldn't think of. I'll be back with these two. Man-Bat, like I said, don't replicate him. Make him just, I think it's Langstrom. Make him that one character and make him, like, the court introduces him to the Man-Bat serum, and they trick him into killing his wife and becoming one of the new Talons, and they take that to make mutants, and that's how you could replicate the Man-Bat. Don't make them actual Man-Bats, but make them like gorillas, and basically make them the mutants from the Gotham series, the Bruisers, and that would have been a lot better. Just have one Man-Bat and then just have the other Talons become mutants. And what would have been hilarious would have like a little callback to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming in, because they're a DC project and they've crossed over TMNT a lot, and it's a mutagen kind of ideal. So having a little callback to the TMNT would have been amazing. Mr. Freeze, like I said, hunting down labs across the city that could give him the materials he needs to cure Nora. But of course, in his rage through them, he's killing people. He's destroying other cures and other things, so they have to stop him. So basically, he's not worried about anything else. He's worried about his wife. That would have made this character so much better. And then in the end, he ends up saving one of the knights because he caused too much damage already, and he sees that in his for sure way to get his wife back is ending up in too much misery, and she wouldn't like a world where Mr. Freeze was going around doing what he did. So it's just like the idea that his wife would have came back and would have been like, yeah, you're not my husband anymore, or like you're no longer the Victor I knew, makes him rethink his strategy and saves a knight. The Penguin is the least used character. This character has recently become such a big part of Batman. You could have there was a comic recently where he lost power of the mafia of Gotham, and it became way worse than it was when he was in power. So basically, he was able to control the crime and make it easy enough for Batman to deal with. And basically, Batman makes a deal to get him back in as the head. And it would make a lot of sense if you realize this, is that, yes, he is one of the higher criminals. He will have a connection to the court, him having his mother in the court. But him having such a hold on the crime would have made it to where it's like, hey, if the Penguin is removed, it gets way worse. Like the riots and all that start happening, anarchy comes out and happens. That is what you could have done, is just like with the Penguin put into the hospital by him getting attacked by the court after giving them information. It would have been amazing if you just had him when he's removed as the head for a little bit. Like without him in the picture, it gets a lot worse throughout Gotham. And kind of understanding that there needs to be someone to put them in their place, controlled crime, and it also, I would believe, having Batman explain to the Gotham Knights that there are a few things that the Penguin, for their deal to make him still become, I believe that talk between Batman and Penguin happened, where it's just like, hey, if you look away for a few crimes that aren't big, they're not going to kill anyone or hurt anyone, if you just let my business where I get money, let alone, I can still look as a boss so no one questions my authority, and I'll make it a little bit easier on you. So basically, Penguin makes all his money and does drugs and stuff, while Batman will stop things like arms deals and stuff. That way it makes him look like he's some smart aleck that can overdo the Batman here and there. Now, these two stories, all you have to do is one thing. When Ra's al Ghul dies with Bruce, do a Batman Beyond storyline where the whole reason for the setup is that Ra's al Ghul wants Bruce's body, so he goes to kill him so he can take his body, take his conscience, go over into his body, and that way he's got a well-built mind, he's got the physical attributes of Batman, and it would put him in a better position. And in Batman Beyond, he takes over Talia's body to live, and he goes to take Bruce's body to be powerful again. So it'd be amazing if you know, we are revealed a resurrected Batman or Bruce, but instead it's got the conscious of Ra's al Ghul. But because Bruce is so mentally strong, he's still in there and still doing the talking to him, makes it to where you can bring him out of his mental loop. So eventually you can get Bruce back, but he still finishes it off to basically save. Anyways, so he still kills himself to preserve the knights, and he actually gives the knights a reason, is that he thinks it's unnatural and that him coming back would not of like him dying made the knights way better, and without him they've made so much more progress than he ever did. So to put an end to the Lazarus Pit and put an end to the war between the court and the League in Gotham, he sacrifices himself to an end. So that would be the end of it. So basically, show personal stories of why the court has attachment to all the Gotham Knights. Give him flashback scenes with the Gotham every single night. Make him just, I hate my life, I'm going to make everyone suffer. Understand that the court had done something with the Joker. The Joker had kids, so Batman saves the kids, but for information. Use the court to understand why Gordon died. Man-Bat is a single person that gives them a mutant formula for Talons, but he still does the wife killing, and it's only one Man-Bat in the entire game. Make him a very big part of why the court wants him dead. If he's gone, crime is harder for the Knights to deal with. Mr. Freeze actually have a reason to enter those hospitals and facilities to try to save his wife, but in the end he damages too much more lives, so he ends up sacrificing for the idea that his wife would not like it. And then just these two, Talia takes her father's body, but takes his brain and is able to convert his consciousness to Bruce's resurrected body. And with you fighting him as the final boss, he's able to break back into Bruce, and he sacrifices himself to destroy the pit and all that still. But he explains the reasoning is just, you've done so much well without me. So anyways, that's how I think about this. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.